Yes, I welcome you all for this virtual class. We are going to start the class right now, depending on number of people those are joining slowly. Okay. Yes, Aditi. What is the concepts that we had learned in module number one? Can you tell me what are the concepts that we have learned in module one?
So SAC,
Okay, starting from first, you tell me what are the concepts that we learned. Based on the concepts, what you tell, I'll ask the questions to everyone for the first 10 minutes. I hope I'm audible.
is the structure of an electric power system,
Okay.
advantages of high voltage transmission line.
Okay.
We did two derivations on it, sir.
Okay.
And the distribution substation, like feeders
What
and
is two
distribution
derivations or
substation.
three derivations? The percentage of line drop is also there, no?
So, yes, sir, three.
Yeah, yeah.
SAG and span, about SAG and span, sir. And in SAG, two derivations, one for equal level support and unequal support.
Yeah, tell me a few more concepts.
Then problems on SAG, sir. Uh, then line support and different electric towers, like electric poles,
Good,
conduct,
very good, very good,
conductors and insulators,
very good.
and like effects of atmospheric conditions on transmission lines and sums on it.
Good.
Uh, then like different types of insulators and sums we're doing in the last class.
Okay, yes. So that we have completed, and we wanted to have methods of increasing the string efficiency.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So those were the concepts that we were discussing in the previous class, and also we had a collective effort of all the concepts what Aditi highlighted now. I hope everyone has learned a lot in this concepts that we had already explained in detail. Okay. So let us move on to the next topic, that is module number three, what we have got. Okay. So in module number three, what we have got this performance of transmission lines. Okay. I hope the screen is visible and I am audible. I hope the screen is visible and I am audible.
Yes, sir. It's
Anyone
visible
can
and
confirm?
audible.
Okay. Yes. Meanwhile, we had learned regarding the structure of an electrical power system, and I'm going to highlight regarding the performance of transmission lines, what we are going to discuss right now. Okay. Now, what are the contents that we wanted to cover in this performance of the transmission lines? That is first one. We are going to have the introduction. Okay, you can make a note of it. First, we are going to have introduction. Next, we are going to have the classification of overhead transmission lines. Okay, classification of overhead transmission lines. Next, we have got short transmission line, medium transmission line, and long transmission line. Okay, so and we are going to generalize it based on the ABCD constants of a transmission line. So how we are going to model it. Okay, so these are the contents what we are going to discuss, and we are going to highlight more of the performance aspects in the transmission line. What is the basic prerequisite for this module is? you need to have an understanding of complex numbers and using the calculator, okay, using the scientific calculator, and you need to understand how to write the vector diagram, okay, how to write the vector diagram. 1 minute. Only 39 have joined, 38 have joined. Okay, now it's increasing. Inform your friends to join quickly. I've already posted a message. Who is this? Danush? Yes. So, is the screen visible now? Janavi, can you tell me, is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is the voice also like audible or not?
Yes, sir. It is audible.
Is the voice audible? Okay, then okay. So when I consider the performance of the transmission line, what are the things that I need to have in mind is how do I need to design this transmission line? Okay, we have single phase transmission line also. We have got three phase transmission line also. All right. Now, the important considerations while having the operation or 1 minute, getting free. Yes, who is Danush? Who is Danush who has entered the meeting with VVC other than VVC mail ID?
Sir, it's VVC ID only, sir.
No, not Danush HS. I got one more ping.
Don't know, sir.
It's not Danush HS. It's not you. I agree that you have logged in from VVC mail ID. Not you, Danush.
Okay.
I think there's one more person who has logged in. One minute. Let me check. Okay, fine. See, always use VVC mail ID. Okay, we have given the instructions to use VVC mail ID. You have to use throughout the online sessions that we are going to have. Okay, so hope I don't have to repeat certain things again and again. Fine. So we were discussing regarding the important considerations while I'm designing a transmission line. Okay. So now, when I say the word design, what is the main thing that comes to your mind? Yes. For example, in the previous semester, you say that design a counter. Okay. Design a mod 5 counter or mod 4 counter. Okay. So you would have studied counters and timers or something like that, combinational logic circuits and all. Fine, I agree to that. Now, can you tell me what do you understand by this design? What do you understand by the term design?
So it is a basic infrastructure on what we work with the specific system that for the given input we need to get the desired output.
Very good, very good. So you are basically changing the system parameters. Okay, Chetan. So you are basically changing the system parameters. You are altering it in such a way that you have to get the required output. Yes, I totally agree to it. Now, when I talk about the system parameters, I need to vary it in such a way that I get the required output. Correct? Now, what are the system parameters when it comes to transmission line? I have the basic three elements, which is R, L, and C. Okay. So if you see any network, okay, any network, AC network, okay. So you generally consider R, L, C as the elements or the line constants in case of a transmission line here. Okay. Now, what are the next thing that comes to my mind? how do I assess the performance? How do I assess the performance of a, yes, let me talk about a student. Okay, now how do I assess the performance of a student? Tell me, how do I assess the performance of a student? Anyone? Anyone in the meeting can do let me know. How do you assess the performance of a student?
So based
Yes,
on
given
their
a chance to assess the
participation,
performance.
based on their
Yes, good, very
performance
good.
in the class and the assessments what
Good.
the faculties provide.
Yes, yes. So basically, it is generally when it comes to the academic aspects, okay, only the academic aspects what I'm considering here. You have the percentage, you have the score that is there. In the same way, you have the percentage of efficiency of a transmission line. Okay, so you have resistance of a transmission line, which is important for the power loss component. Okay, and the power loss component here in the transmission line determines the transmission line efficiency. Okay, so if higher is the power loss, lower will be the transmission line efficiency. Okay, so we'll discuss more about it, and we got one more parameter which we generally call it as voltage regulation. Okay, so voltage regulation will be there, line losses will be there, which I generally call it as transmission line losses, and the efficiency of the transmission line will be there. Okay, so now these are the main things what I need to consider, and also the effect of the parameters on the transmission line and flow of power from one end to the another end. Okay, so overall we are assessing the transmission line performance based on transmission line efficiency, voltage regulation, and line losses. Okay, so all these things we have to keep in mind while assessing the transmission line performance, or the performance of any transmission line system. Okay, so let us move on to the classification of overhead transmission line. As I already told you, the parameters which are there in the transmission line system is resistance, inductance, and capacitance. So we have a simple circuit that is there. So you have a series impedance, which is resistance and inductance. Okay, and you have capacitance, which is nothing but in parallel, along with the shunt conductance there if it is present. Okay, now depending on the capacitance effect that has been introduced in the transmission line calculations, we are going to classify this transmission line as three types, or three subdivisions, or three and that is nothing but the classification what we are doing here. We are having the first one depending on the capacitance which is taken into account. Okay, so we have got the first classification, which is short transmission lines. Okay, short transmission line, you just make a note of it, just make a tabular column and make a note of it. That is 50 kilometer, that is the length of the transmission line. Okay, and the line voltage. Okay, so short transmission line on one end, and on the top you write it as length and the line voltage. Okay, length and the line voltage. Okay, in short transmission line, 50 kilometer in length, and the line voltage is comparatively low, which is less than 20 kilovolt. Okay, so here we are going to consider it as a short transmission line. Okay, so depending on the length, that is 50 kilometer, or maximum it might reach up to 75 to 80 kilometer of length to be the transmission line network. Okay, so due to the smaller length and lower voltage, the capacitance effects are small, and hence it can be neglected. Okay, so therefore while studying the performance of these lines, we consider only the resistance and inductance of the line while doing the calculations. Okay, so keep this in mind, the capacitance effect is neglected in a short transmission line. Okay, so moving on to the next one, we got medium transmission line. When the length of the overhead transmission line is about 50 kilometer to 150 kilometer. Okay, so 100 kilometer, or generally 150 kilometer length. Okay, so we moderately have this medium transmission line. Okay, that is in the range of greater than 20 kilovolt, less than 100 kilovolt. Okay, so it is considered as a medium transmission line. Okay. Next, we have got the sufficient length and voltage of the line. The capacitance effects are taken into consideration here. So how this capacitance effects are taken into consideration over a medium transmission line? So we are taking it based on a factor where it is lumped and it is being distributed. Okay, so we have got distributed capacitance of the line, which is distributed over equal lengths of the line, and we got lumped. Okay, so what do you mean by lumped capacitance is, so the capacitance is accumulated at a particular part of the transmission line. So generally we take it at the one or two points which we generally have it into consideration while designing the transmission line. So most of the times while we are doing this, we are taking the capacitance which is lumped at the center or the middle point of the transmission line. Okay, so that is the reason why we are taking the medium transmission line as two types based on the capacitance effects that are considered. Okay, so we have got two types where it can be divided. Okay, so next one, we have got long transmission lines where the length of the overhead transmission line is more than 150 kilometer and the line voltage is long transmission line and the line constants are uniformly distributed over the length of the transmission line there. Okay, so we have got derivations in all the three transmission lines, and we have one more classification in medium transmission lines. I'll tell you once I have the derivation concept being discussed. Okay, so let us move on to the terms which are to be explained or to be understood in performance of a transmission line. Okay, so first one is the voltage regulation. Okay, so how do you define voltage regulation while designing a transmission line and also the determination of transmission line efficiency? When a transmission line is carrying current, there is a voltage drop in the line due to the resistance and inductance of the line. Okay, so this results in receiving end voltage, we call it as VR, is less than Vs. Okay, so what do you see here in the general network? So we have got sending end voltage and receiving end voltage. Okay, so generally while you are designing a transmission line network, so the sending end voltage will be more than the receiving end voltage. Okay, so the voltage which is there at the receiving end, it should be taken as a percentage. Okay, so I got the voltage drop with respect to sending end and receiving end, which is expressed as a percentage of the receiving end voltage. Okay, so how do you define the transmission voltage regulation or transmission line voltage regulation? The difference in the voltage at the receiving end of a transmission line, okay, that is between no load and full load, is called as the voltage regulation. It is expressed as a percentage of receiving end voltage. Okay, it is expressed as a percentage of the receiving end voltage there. Okay, yeah, this is how you are mathematically expressing it as Vs minus Vr divided Vs minus Vr divided by Vr into 100. Okay, so that's how you are going to express it. Okay, now it is desired that the voltage regulation of a transmission line should be low. That is, the increase in the load current should make very little difference in the receiving end voltage. Okay, so the voltage regulation should be low. Okay, so it should not be high as that of a transmission line. Regulation low. Okay, remember one thing, as you keep the voltage regulation low, the difference of the receiving end voltage, whether there is an increase in the load current, so it should make less difference in the receiving end voltage there. Okay, so that is what you get it. Fine. So next we got transmission efficiency. We got transmission efficiency. How do you define efficiency generally? How do you define efficiency? Anyone? Yes, yeah, you can unmute and you can talk with me. How do you define efficiency?
So if it's in terms of power, it is output power by input power into 100.
Very good answer, Chetan. Very good. Now, so how do you say in case of a transmission line efficiency? Okay, how do you define or how do you determine it? You have receiving end power, receiving end current is there, and its power factor. Okay, so overall in a single phase network, we call it as VR IR into cos phi r, and at the sending end power you have VS IS into cos phi s. Okay, transmission line efficiency is defined by receiving end power divided by sending end power into 100. Okay, so the receiving end power generally it will be less than sending end power. Okay, so VR IR and cos phi r are the receiving end voltage, and VS IS and cos phi s are the sending end voltage. Okay, I want you to write down this equations, what is there. Okay, and along with the definition I'll go to voltage regulation. Okay, I hope it is visible. Do write down this concepts. Okay, I'll give you a minute or two time. Write down the voltage. I mean, write down the voltage regulation equation, and you can type your name in the chat box for attendance. Okay, so only those who type their name in the chat box will be considered for the attendance. Okay, if you are done, do let me know. Janavi, if you have written it,
Yes, sir.
let me know. Yes, if you have written it, I'll move on to the next one, which is transmission line efficiency. Okay, shall I move?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, you can write down this. Okay, is it done? Okay, can anyone tell me, is it done?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us move on to the next concept. Okay, so which is the performance of the single phase short transmission line. Okay, so we are going to have this derivation. We are going to like do this derivation. You diagram. Write down the circuit diagram. Write down the circuit diagram where my mouse pointer is being pointed. Where the pointer is being pointed, do make a note of it. Okay. So if you are noted down, do let me know because it would be easy for me to not waste the time. Okay. So let us start with this single phase short transmission line. The line capacitance is neglected here. And while we are studying this performance, only resistance and inductance are taken into consideration. Okay. So the equivalent circuit is what you have written here. It's a series RL circuit. We have Vs and we have Vr. So this is the single phase load that is connected. Okay. Now this equivalent circuit of a single phase transmission line. Okay, single phase short transmission line. So we have the total line resistance and the inductance, which is concentrated. Okay, so generally the total line resistance and inductance, there is no capacitance here. Okay, so the total line resistance and inductance are shown in the figure what you have written. So it might be concentrated or lumped instead of being distributed. Okay, so in an AC circuit, it is a series circuit. So we have got is equals IR equals I, which I generally take it as load current. Okay, this is taken as the load current. So it's a simple series AC circuit here, and we got R and L. Okay, so we will introduce a concept here called as loop resistance and loop reactance. Okay, so why it is taken as both conductors, that is the forward conductor and also the return conductor. So we have got phase and the neutral. Okay, so we have got phase and the neutral, and that is the reason why we generally take it as resistance of both conductors and inductance of both the forward and the reverse conductor. Okay, so VR is the receiving end voltage, Vs is the sending end voltage, cos phi r is the receiving end power factor. We generally take it as lagging power factor. Can anyone tell me why we take it as lagging power factor? Anyone in the meeting can unmute themselves and do let me know why do we take it as lagging power factor. Sidling Swami, I hope I'm audible. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Sidling Swami, can you tell me why did we take it as a lagging power factor? Why did we take it as lagging power factor? Is the screen visible and I'm audible? Sidling Swami?
Yes, sir.
Okay, why did we take it as lagging power factor? Why not leading?
Sir, we are using an inductive load.
Very good answer. Okay, very good answer. Who gave the answer? Can you let me know? Yeah, I didn't get that.
Sir, Chetan, sir.
Chetan, okay, very good. Okay, Chetan. I think in the meeting it was not visible. Okay, very good, Chetan. Yes. So for an inductive load, let me tell you, you can note down. So for an inductive load, so what we have modeled here, we are using R and L for a short transmission line. So it is nothing but a inductive load. It is more or less like choke coil experiment, what you did. Okay. So you have series R and series L, that is a loop in a reactance and loop resistance. Okay. Now we have got this inductive load and we generally take it as a lagging power factor. What it means? Current lags the voltage by some angle, or voltage leads the current by some angle. Okay. So it might be any angle which is from 0 to 90 degree, any angle. Okay. So not 0 or not 90, any angle between 0 to 90 is taken as the lagging power factor angle. Okay. So Vs is the sending end voltage and cos phi s is the sending end power factor. Okay. Now look at this vector diagram. Take a scale and a pencil. Just follow my instructions what I'm giving you right now. Okay. So we want to find out what is Vs. Take a scale and a pencil, everyone. You have to write down this vector diagram. Okay. So Vs is taken as the reference. Okay. Vs is taken as the reference. Now, if Vs is taken as the sending end voltage, so we want to find out what is the sending end voltage. Fine. So in order to find out this sending end voltage, we need to take the current as the reference. Why we need to take current as a reference? Because this current is same throughout the circuit. I'll take a component or I take a parameter which is constant throughout the circuit, which is I. Okay. So I mark it as OD. Okay. I mark a line or I draw a horizontal line as OD. Now, what I need to do at the load side? So I need to make a comparison between the receiving end voltage and the current. So which is OA. Okay. So phi R. Okay, it is the voltage is leading the current by an angle of phi R. Okay, now I need to find out what is Vs. Vs is equal to I into R plus I into XL. Okay, so I into R with respect to this point, I draw a horizontal line, and with respect to point B, I draw a vertical line which is 90 degree inclined. Okay, so 90 degree inclined, and from O I draw a straight line. So this is a simple vector diagram that is there for the short transmission line. Okay. So I'll give you time to analyze this vector diagram. Okay. So phi s is the angle made by the voltage with respect to the current. Okay. So simple vector diagram that is there for a short transmission line. Okay. Analyze it properly. Okay, so we got this vector diagram which is there where you can analyze how did we find or how did we sketch it. Okay, we take a reference as current I and we take VR. Okay, so which is inclined by some angle. So we draw inclination with respect to the current, and we want to find Vs. So VR is known to us. So VR plus IR. Okay, I into R plus I into XL. Okay, so that gives you Vs. Okay, that gives you Vs. Okay, fine. So that's how you can represent the phasor diagram for a lagging power factor, whatever that's there here. Okay, for a short transmission line. Now, what do I need to do here? I need to find out. Okay, so I need to find out the sending end voltage to my voltage regulation. Okay, to the voltage regulation that is there in a short transmission line, Vs minus Vr divided by Vr into 100. Okay, so what do I need to do? I need to find Vs. Okay, so how do I find Vs? OC squared equals OD squared plus DC squared. Do you agree to this? What I said right now, can you apply Pythagoras theorem? You will be getting OC squared equals OD squared plus DC squared. Okay. Yes. So we got this. Now we get OD again as OE plus ED. Okay. We get OD again as OE plus ED. That is what we got here. Okay. So OC squared is VS squared. OD squared is OE plus ED squared plus DC squared. What is DC squared here? This is a DC. What we are going to get? We are going to get it as DB plus BC squared. Look here. DB plus BC squared. Fine. So now, how do you find out OE? Let us have OE. What is this? This is OE, right? Fine. So we've got VR. Okay. So how you are going to find OE? Can anyone tell me based on the trigonometric equations? We know VR and what is the angle that is there as phi r. How are you going to find out OE? Throughout the session, I'll be asking such questions. I want every one of you to be aware. Yes. How do I write what is OE? Or how do I express OE?
So based on the axis, you can express that as a cos component of the voltage.
Yes, exactly. So VR cos phi r. What is ED then? ED would be I into R. Okay, this magnitude is same as that of this length, that is ED. Okay, that is I into R squared. Next, DB is VR. Yeah, DB. How will you express this? So that is nothing but AE. So that is VR sin phi r. Okay, so VR sin phi r. Okay, so VR sin phi r plus I into XL. Okay, so if you know all the components, okay, so you can easily find out what is the sending end voltage. After finding out the sending end voltage given receiving end voltage, we can find out the voltage regulation. Okay, so we can find out the voltage regulation. Now, similarly, can you tell me how do you find sending end power factor cos phi s? So how do you find out cos phi s? So how do you find cos phi s? OD divided by OC. The same thing, right? OD divided by OC. Okay. So again, OD, how will you express? OE plus ED. Okay. Divided by OC, that is VS. Fine. So VR cos phi r plus IR divided by VS. Fine. So now power delivered is given by VR into IR cos phi r. Okay. So the line losses will be I squared into R. So the power delivered, what you get plus losses is nothing but the sending end power. Okay. So power delivered or power which is there, power delivered divided by power sent out into 100. That is the transmission line efficiency or percentage of the transmission line efficiency. We get it as VRIR cos phi r divided by VRIR cos phi r plus I squared r into 100. That is what we are going to get it. Okay. So note down these equations and finish the derivation. I'll give you time. Hope you have sketched this and note down these equations what we have got. Okay, so look at the equations what you have to find out and finish it. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes time. So let's move on to the three-phase short transmission line in after 5 minutes. Hope you are getting what I'm teaching, and you have to be a bit like interested in the subject. Okay, so you have to show some interest to the subject, then only you can able to learn how did we model this. And these are modeling techniques. Let me tell you, this is how the transmission line efficiency and voltage regulation is found out. Okay. Okay, now I hope you have written it down. Or else you can take a photo of it and you can keep it. You can take a screenshot and you can keep it. Okay, so we have other method also which I wanted to discuss, but this is the complex notation that we got. Okay, so we are going to use this type of complex notation while solving the numerical problems. Okay, so we are going to use this complex notation while solving the numerical problems, and we are going to get the same answer or relatively same answer. Might have some variations. Okay, not too much variations, but a slight variation when it comes to complex notation and the general way in which I expressed. Okay, so let us move on to the next one. Okay, and what we got here as a three-phase transmission line. Okay, so in a three-phase transmission line, if I want to analyze, I'll have three single-phase units. Okay, so each wire is transmitting 1/3 of the total power. Okay, so what you have studied, the total three-phase power is √3 VLIL cos phi. Okay, or how did you get 3 into V phase into I phase into cos phi? Okay, so that is what you have got there, and in order to analyze this three-phase system, we want each wire transmitting 1/3 of the total power. Okay, and we are going to express it as 3 times the value of the single phase power. We are having this equations. Okay, so you can go through it, and whatever the equations that are there. So we have single phase and three phase. Okay, you just have to multiply it by 3. What is there for three phase? So power at the receiving end will be 3 times VRIR cos phi r. Okay, so these are the meters, whatever that is their power factor meter, and we are going to express it. Okay, so note down this numerical problem. Okay, hope the derivation, whatever I have taught, is clear to you. Let us move on to the concept of numerical problems on single phase transmission line. Numerical problems on single phase transmission line. Okay, first one, a single phase overhead transmission line. A single phase overhead transmission line delivers 1100 kilowatt, delivers 1100 kilowatt at 33 kilovolt at 0.8 power factor lagging. Okay, so write down this 1100 kilowatt at 33 kilovolt at 0.8 power factor lagging. Full stop. The total resistance and inductive reactance of the line are 10 ohm and 15 ohm respectively. The total resistance and inductive reactance of the line are 10 ohm and 15 ohm respectively. Determine first one, sending end voltage. Determine first one, sending end voltage. Second one, sending end power factor cos phi s. First we are going to find Vs, sending end voltage. Next, sending end power factor. Third one, transmission line efficiency. Okay, transmission line efficiency. Fine. So you have got this problem. Just go through the solution, what is there. Okay, I've already shared it in your class group also, the textbook. So I'll stop here right now. Okay, and go through it. I'll just give you a hint. You can solve this problem on your own. Okay, so we got 1100 kilowatt as, what is it? Sending end power or receiving end power? Tell me what it is. Sending end power or receiving end power? Yes, anyone in the meeting, tell me whether it is sending end power or receiving end power. So the transmission line delivers. Okay, so you have a load at 33 kilovolt. Okay, this should be the receiving end power. I hope I'm audible. Janavi, kelistadiya?
Yes, sir.
Okay, receiving end power. Okay, this one is receiving end power, which is 1100 kilowatt. 33 kilovolt is the receiving end voltage, and 0.8 power factor is the receiving end power factor. Okay, so the total resistance and inductive reactance of the line are 10 ohm and 15 ohm respectively. Okay, the total resistance and reactance, inductive reactance of the line are 10 ohm and 15 ohm respectively. Okay, so we got Z to be equal to R plus JXL, that is 10 plus J15. Okay, so cos phi r 0.8 lagging. What we can understand, even though it is not mentioned here as short transmission line, okay, so even though it is not mentioned as short transmission line, so there is no capacitance. Depending on the classification of transmission line, we say that we understand that it is a short transmission line and we solve the problem. Okay, so you can go through the steps in detail here, or else we'll have this discussion in the coming class also. Okay, so you have to use a calculator throughout the session. Okay, so you have to use a calculator throughout the session and you have to solve it using the calculator. I want every one of you to use the scientific calculator and figure it out. Okay, so I'll stop it here right now. We'll take the complex notation while solving such problems. It would be easy for us while solving it. Okay, so I'll stop it here. Okay, so I want every one of you to type the names, those who are done with the yes, type your name in the chat box and you can leave the meeting.